we have a really strict quality control system because of the fact that we are certified organic. So we have organic control points, over a dozen organic control points throughout our whole process of receiving ingredients through to being stored and being batched up, and the ingredients being made into products, and then the products being filled, and then labelled and batched and used by date, and then being sent over to our dispatch. So basically we're really unique in terms of the cosmetic industry because we formulate, we devise the products, we formulate them, we manufacture them, we market them, we ship them. So we do everything, which is really unusual in the cosmetic industry. Not many companies actually do every single aspect of their business from go to woe, which is good because it enables us to have total control over the quality of the products, and it also keeps our wonderful secrets in-house, and it enables us to do things the way we want to do them, which is very unique in the cosmetic industry in terms of the way we manufacture. So we actually have a few different stages of quality checks. So we have the incoming goods, which is the incoming raw materials. So for example, this is our storage area, our sort of on hold area for incoming raw materials. So we have, as you'll see, there's different designated labelled areas for non-organic raws and certified organic raws and components, which are our packaging and labels and caps and pumps and things like that. So basically they sit here, and this is like the quarantine area or the on-hold area, and no product, no raw material or component enters into our factory without the correct quality control checks. So for example, for our raw materials, we test, the paperwork checks whether, number one, it's certified organic, number two, whether it's from the correct supplier, from our approved supplier, number three, whether it's the correct amount that we ordered, and whether it's we've been invoiced the correct price that we were quoted on. And in terms of the quality of the ingredient, a sample is taken from the ingredient. So we get all the paperwork and confirm the paperwork is correct. And then we check the certificate of analysis, the material safety data sheet that we have on record. We take a sample of the ingredient and we compare it against we have retention samples of all of our raw materials and packaging and labels and everything. Every component that goes into making our products, we have a retention sample of, or a comparative sample, and it's tested for correct pH, viscosity, just that it is what it is. It is what it's supposed to be, and it's not contaminated. And if necessary, we send it off for lab tests. But of course, we check the data against the certificates of analysis and make sure there's no contamination. And once it's passed, so we have different levels of, everything's visual in this factory. So you can see the status of products just by glancing at things. So we have lots of signs and lots of different coloured stickers. So at a glance, all of our staff know that's on hold, that's quarantined, that's passed, that's okay. So that it's a very visual, yellow, green, red kind of system that we have. So once the raws and the components get the green pass sticker, once it's been given all the ticks from our quality control people, it then goes into storage. And our storage system, because we're certified organic, we actually have to submit a map of our premises, and we have the map of our entire factory, and we have every raw material. We have to show our certifier where we store all of our raws, And part of being organically certified is that we have to keep the organic raw materials separate from the non-organic raw materials, and even to the point of keeping our USDA certified organic raw materials separate from our ACO certified organic raw materials. So and basically we provide a map to our certifier to tell them exactly where we store all of our components. So part of the auditing process, we get audited annually, because being certified organic is basically it's a third-party independent certification of our products. So it verifies the authenticity and integrity of the claims that we make about certified organic products. So certified organic means basically minimum 95% organic content, excluding water and salt. And it verifies, or it guarantees the integrity of every single one of the ingredients in all of our products. So basically our certifier is putting their reputation on the line by certifying us and certifying our products. So when they come in and audit us on an annual basis, they want to make sure that we are doing exactly what we told them we're going to be doing, and they want to ensure that the formulas that we submitted to be certified are exactly the formulas that we manufacture, and that when we get a product certified, you have to submit a PID. It's called a Product Ingredient Declaration, which basically it's the formula of the product, and every ingredient, the percentage of each ingredient, the supplier that we source that ingredient from, and the certification, the different levels or the different types of certifications for each supplier. So there are lots of certifications all over the world, and as I mentioned before, we get all of our ingredients from all over the world. It's not just from one certifier. So there are a set standard of organic certification that we must comply with for all of our raw materials. For example, an EcoCert certified ingredient would not comply with our ACO organic standard or our USDA organic standard, unless the EcoCert has a USDA or an ACO level, because EcoCert on its own does not meet the standard. So they have to actually have an additional certification if a raw material supplier wants to supply us. Basically, they've got to have the highest level of certification, of organic certification on the planet to supply us, which makes my job really easy, because when I'm coming up with different formulas, I've got suppliers, beating down our door to try and tell us, oh, we've got this organic and this organic now. 10 years ago it was like, do you have organic X? Organic? No, what's that? And now, 10 years later, they're saying, oh, we've got organic this. But it makes my job really easy, because it's like, okay, if it's that certification, for example, EcoCert, forget it. It's not, because it doesn't meet our stringent standards. So we only accept high-level organic certifications, such as ACO and USDA. And there are companies around the world that do certify to those high standards. So that's receiving. And now we'll move on to the next step, which is the bulk manufacturing. So this next phase, we've gone through the raw materials, the incoming receiving step. Now we're coming to the bulk step, or the bulk manufacturing step. So once the raw materials have been accepted and received into our factory, they get stored in behind me is our lab, and inside the lab is our giant refrigerator. So we store all of our precious essential fatty acid oils and butters and essential oils and herbs. All of our lovely precious ingredients are stored in the giant fridge, basically. And all of the powders and the iron oxides, all of the things that aren't affected by heat, like Queensland summer, are stored out here. But everything that's affected by heat gets stored in the fridge. So the next step in the life of one of our products is to be bulk manufactured. So basically what that means, and I'm going to take you through our scheduling system shortly, which is really, really unique, which enables us to make products, because one of our really unique things is that we make products fresh monthly, which is revolutionary in the cosmetic industry. I know of no other company that manufactures their products on a regular basis, on as regular a basis than that we do. We manufacture between 3 and 6 weeks, depending on the turnover of the product. And then we have some products that have a long shelf life, such as our powders, that we manufacture every 12 weeks. So we keep a very short supply, fresh supply, which basically is because these products I formulated, I made them with the best ingredients that I could possibly source on the planet, and they're manufactured in a way that maintains the integrity and the potency and the beneficial nature of all of the ingredients, because they're manufactured at room temperature. It's called cold manufacturing, which means no heat is applied to any of the raw materials in the manufacturing process, which is also really unique in the cosmetic industry, and that maintains the beneficial properties of the ingredients. So that is why our products are really unique and good for you, and I want to ensure that our customer receives the best possible product, because I make them to be the best they possibly can be. I formulate them so I formulate them with love. Absolutely. They're made with love and formulated with love. So I want the people who use them to actually feel that and to get the benefit from that. So part of that aim is to make the products fresh. Okay, so you get them basically straight off the production line. So this is very different in the cosmetic industry, because most cosmetic products are not even made by the marketing arm. Most cosmetic manufacturers are like marketing arms, and then they're manufactured in a private label factory that churns out lots of different brands, and then they're warehoused. Not only are they're manufactured like in bulk, thousands and thousands and thousands, tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of units that are like 2-3 years worth of product, warehoused in bulk, and then they're shipped to all of the locations and their retail locations around the world. And then if they're sitting in a retail store, they may be sitting on a shelf for 3, 6, 12, whatever months. But really, that's irrelevant, because those products are dead to start with. They don't even use living, amazing, natural, cold-pressed, cold macerated herbs, cold-pressed, unrefined, raw plant oils. They don't use the ingredients that we use. We use the most amazing versions of each ingredient that's available on the planet. So, for example, there's rose essential oil, and then there's rose fragrance. Rose fragrance is like a $50 a kilo rose smelling concoction of chemicals. Smells lovely, but it's super cheap, and it's a neurotoxin which causes brain damage. It's a hormonal disruptor. Fragrances can be comprised of up to 4,000 different chemicals. And they're not actually beneficial for you. They serve no purpose than just to make the product, just to cover up the other awful ingredients in the product and make it smell pretty. They have no benefit. Every single one of our ingredients actually has a benefit for you, your skin, the environment, your spirit, your emotions. The essential oils that we use are actually therapeutic, so they're actually good for you. It's irrelevant that those products are stored long term, because they were dead to start with. But what is really relevant for us is that our products are living, they're precious, they're stored in the fridge, they're made in very small quantities. We only make a small amount at a time, and we ship them direct from our manufacturing plant to the end user. So we have a very small focus on retail stores. Our main focus is on individuals, on the end user. So we basically, our business model enables us to supply our products to the end user, because we're network marketing. So we're cutting out all the distributors and the wholesalers and the retailers, and then the product sits on a shelf for God knows how long and goes stale and off. I don't want my products to be in that world, because I want my products to be made fresh, shipped to the end user, so when they open them and use them, is like the best possible benefits for them. We have a weekly schedule, and I'm going to take you through it in a minute, but we have a really unique stock watching system, which, but I'll take you through that in a moment. But yeah, nothing gets wasted. We only make enough for what is going to be used. Yeah, and then we make another fresh batch for the next few weeks. Yeah, it's cool. It's very unique in the cosmetic industry, very unique. Now we're talking about bulk manufacture. So as you can see behind me, there are lots of different buckets for every single product, which means that there's no cross-contamination. Not that there's an issue with cross-contamination, because it doesn't matter if you're using the soothing moisturizer or the rejuvenating moisturizer, it's all certified organic. But we have a bucket for every product. And except for the large bulk products, which are the shampoos, the body wash, the shine conditioner, and that's about it. So we actually have 7 sort of production stations in this factory. From our bulk manufacture, we have our sachet machine here, we have our tube filler, our Unipack tube filler. We have 2 dosing stations, which are air operated, compressed air operated, which is no pollution in the factory, no sort of generators or gas being emitted in the factory, because it's all run on air pressure. So 2 dosing units, which fills our creams and pumps. We have 2 label applicators. We have our batch code applicator and the best before ink jetter, and our sealer, our induction sealer, which is what we use on our 250 ml bottles. So it's that induction seal that you have to peel off. Yeah. So we have a number of different stations around the factory, and basically the way we do things, it's very lean manufacturing principles. So the bulk manufacturing is basically our production manager pulls out the batch sheet and the number of units. So every week we actually schedule what we're going to make for that following week, and we know that because every week we download the sales, so historical sales, and we forecast how many weeks of product we're going to manufacture for each of those products that we're making this week, and we know exactly what batch size. So basically the batch sizes change depending on supply and demand. So it's a very it's like a biofeedback mechanism. So we're very in touch with our sales that happen. So and we have the capacity to, on a weekly basis, to readjust and increase. If we have a run on intensive, for example, we can extend the size of the intensive batch. So we're making enough for the 6 weeks of intensive that we want to have on stock, or the 4 weeks of intensive. So everything's kind of like the fingers are on the pulse of every one of our products on a weekly basis, and we know exactly how much we're going to be making, and we also have the ability to switch around on a daily basis to bring products forward. So part of the quality control of that is that we have a specific batch size, which is going to produce a theoretical number of units for each batch. So when quality control, when our quality girls come and test the bulk, so this is the next phase of quality control. When the product is manufactured in the lab, there might be 84 kilos of something, which produces 1,024 units. Okay, so theoretically. So then they go through all of the paperwork for that, and they make sure each of the raw materials was the correct one was used, because as the products come in, they're given a batch, an internal quality number for every one of our products. So we make sure that the designated quality number was used on that batch. So there's full traceability for every one of our ingredients from, basically we can, in an audit situation, we can trace back any product that he pulls off the shelf. He says, okay, this batch number, we know exactly every single ingredient from a specific batch that came in and was recorded, and we can trace that back, right back. We can trace every single ingredient from internal, from receiving to dispatch. But not only that, we can also trace every single ingredient, because we're certified organic, every link in the chain of a certified organic product, from the seed to the farm, to the growing method, to the extraction, to the harvesting, extraction. You know, every link in the chain of a certified organic ingredient is traceable. So that's part of our systems, that we have to have full traceability of every single one of our ingredients from receiving all the way through production and dispatch. So in an audit situation, we can basically trace back any ingredient from any product he pulls off the shelf back to the farm. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And so it's total transparency and integrity of every one of the ingredients and the formulas. So basically the paperwork that they check is, oh, we've got some products here. I'm just going to wander. We have desert flower shampoo. We have a batch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buckets of that desert flower shampoo. So that's, it's got the white sticker on it, which is the product in process, which means that obviously was manufactured yesterday, and it's sitting over the weekend, and it will be filled on Monday. So this is a product in process. It doesn't have the green past sticker on it. So on Monday, when our quality girls come in, they will look at the bulk of that. They'll look at the paperwork and say, okay, that batch said we should theoretically have had 400 kilos worth of that product. And they make sure that every one of the ingredients that was put into that product adds up to 400 kilos. And then when it gets filled, the theoretical number of units is also tested. So there's quality, and of course part of the quality testing, not only is it about verifying the organic integrity of the ingredients, it's also the quality of the finished product. So she'll test the pH, the viscosity, the aroma, the appearance. She'll basically make sure it looks what it's meant to look, compared to our comparative samples, our retention samples for the previous batch of desert flower shampoo. Okay, let's go to so we're going to sort of skip halfway through. I'm not going to go to the finished products is next in the stage of the ingredients, but I'm going to go through our scheduling system. So we're going to kind of jump in with the scheduling. Yes, we used to actually have glass packaging, and glass was actually, I actually did some research on the difference between the glass and polypropylene plastic, because the issue with plastic is that it can leach, it's polluting, and it can be contaminated with BPA, the bisphenol A, PVC plasticizers, and it can leach nasty things. So there is one plastic that doesn't have any of these, and also it has to be recyclable. So the plastic that we use is polypropylene, which does not leach. It does not have BPA, no bisphenol A or any of the bisphenols, no PVC, and it's fully recyclable. So the plastic, when I looked at there's a Carnegie Mellon University in America. They have this massive database that assesses the inputs of any basically any commercial substance, any product. So you can compare glass with plastic, or what it takes to manufacture a car. So you can basically, it looks at all of the inputs that go into making that product and all of the outputs, all of the things that are like the pollution, the byproducts of that manufacturing either glass or plastic, and the life cycle analysis, the life cycle, how many times you can recycle it and that kind of stuff. And when I compared, because I always assumed that glass was the better environmental choice. It's very, very intensive to create. It requires a lot of energy, and it requires sand, which contributes to the mining and the degradation. There's a lot of pollution with glass manufacturing, and it actually, in terms of the carbon dioxide and the greenhouse gases, it was the equivalent of, you had to recycle glass 20 times for it to match one plastic container. So even though it's reusable and recyclable, so is plastic. Plastic you can't reuse, but I was actually really surprised. It was actually instrumental in me going from glass, because I just assumed, that glass is the better option. But yeah, when I did this research, I was like, holy crap, plastic is actually, if it's recycled, and that of course is one of our key stipulations, is that the plastic is recyclable 100%? And non-toxic. Yes, yeah. So all of our airless serum pumps, 100% recyclable. No, we can't reuse them because we don't have the facilities to wash them and sterilize them. What I'd like to do is there are companies that are dedicated polypropylene recyclers. What I'd love to do is get in contact with one. There's got to be one in Australia somewhere. It's on my to-do list. I'd like to be able to offer like we have with those bins out the front, to have basically a polypropylene recycler that we can ask our customers to send back. So they would just pull the labels off, send the empty packaging back to us, and then we would, when that bin is filled, they'll come and collect it and recycle it. The ideal is to help with the recycling of it, and not just say, yes, it's recyclable, please recycle it in your own community. Because I know there are communities in America that don't recycle, even though they can, even though this is a recyclable compound. There are some communities in America that don't actually recycle plastics. Everything just goes to landfill. So behind us is actually our scheduling board, or behind me, and this is actually this is the pulse of all of how the products are manufactured. I mentioned before that we actually do a weekly schedule. So every Monday morning, we actually have this incredible inventory control system, inventory and stock control system that is totally in-house designed. And basically we have every single one of our products in a spreadsheet. Every single one of our ingredients and components, so the 380 ingredients and components and labels and boxes and bottles, and down one side of the spreadsheet, and all of the products across the other side. And basically we know if we make, so that the spreadsheet says if you want to create 500 of that product, you put 500 in the top, and it automatically fills all of how much of each ingredient and components that you need for that 500 unit batch. And we have that, so it's a massive spreadsheet, which is really, yeah. So that tells us how much stock for every component and raw, what is our stock on hand, and then we have our sales, projected sales, so that which is based on previous sales. So we stock on hand, projected sales, which tells us how many, how much we need to make for, 30, 60, 15, however many days we can customize, how many days stock we want. And basically every Monday, Dwayne comes out and says, okay, this is what you need to make for this week. And the batches, he brings the batches out, or he brings the batches out when they're ready for manufacture. So Dave will go into Dwayne and say, he goes, okay, we're going to make the clarifying hair rinse today, which is, so this is our, the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and these are our filling lines. So each one of the stations, our activity stations, so we know exactly, on Monday, this is our batch manufacture. So we're going to make purifying cleanser, balancing cleanser, and rejuvenating mask on Monday. And we also have the ability to switch and change around. So, and then on Monday, there we go. Desert Flower, the shampoo that we just saw, that's going into the Unipack filler. So that'll be filled on Monday. And then also the dosing pump, and then most likely there'll be, then it goes to the labeling. So this is like the little heartbeat of our production system here. And it means that it's just, everything's just in time. It's the just in time way of doing things. And it's, so we never go out of stock. It's just like we've just got our fingers on the pulse of every product, so we can, it's a really cool system, and it enables us to make things fresh and make small amounts. So it's just our unique way of doing things. No.
The system's pretty on top of it.
Yeah, yeah. This is like 10 years in development. The whole factory is that, because we just constantly improve, and all of our staff, all of our production staff are cross-trained to do everything. So it's good to have a new brain to be trained to do something that, it's like, oh, why would they do that? Why do we do that? So it's like we're constantly, with all the cross-training we have, and all the sort of the feedback that we have with all the different staff, we get to improve our systems. So yeah, we are a very finely tuned, well-oiled, tight little machine here. Yep, we do. We have a rotation system, so no one gets bored. Yeah. Different stations and different, doing batch manufacturing or labeling or whatever. Yeah, so everyone rotates around on a regular basis. Yeah. Okay, so this is part of the quality system. So the bulk has been passed, so it receives, raws have come in, then it's been manufactured into bulk. All of the quality checks, all the organic control points have been checked off for the bulk, and then it's manufactured and filled. So the product is filled in these lines behind you. And then they sit, the finished goods, the finished packed labelled goods sit over there behind you, and wait for another set of quality control points or organic control points before they're transferred to dispatch. So those points are making sure that the output of the batch, so the number of units, the number of units that batch was supposed to theoretically produce actually matches. That the label, obviously, the basic things, the label is correct, the batch number is correct, the use by date is correct, and of just quality things like visual, there's no scratches or no dents, or the seal hasn't come off and things like that. One of the other things of being certified organic is that it's an extremely labor-intensive process to be certified, to run a certified organic factory, because we have to pull apart, break down and wash and then reassemble every single filling line and manufacturing line or batching line in between batches. And of course we make small batches because we're only making a month at a time, so it's a very intense, labor-intensive process. So that machine, that was the first one that we bought. I think it has like 26 moving parts. So that has to be pulled apart, and like 26 of the parts have to be washed, rinsed. Yeah, around the corner, just near the water purification system. Did I talk about the water purification system? Oh my God, I didn't talk about the water purification system. Okay, well, just quickly, our water purification system is a multi-stage proprietary system that we've come up with ourselves that using lots of different, and I'm not going to give away all my secrets because it's like the multi-stage, so 6 different stages of purification, which eliminates chlorine, fluoride, metallic metals, ions, contaminants, bacteria, does everything. So, and we use lots of different filtration technologies in different stages to produce like the cleanest, purest water, which meets the standards for British Pharmacopoeia filtered water, and we also send our water off for bacterial testing at an external laboratory on a regular basis as well. So yeah, everything we do, we test, we monitor, we make sure that everything's as it should be. Oh yes, so that's got about 26 moving parts. So and of course in most cosmetic manufacturing plants, they just use toxic chemicals to clean down. We use our own homemade, like the detergent concentrate and organic ethanol, which is our sanitizer. So it's totally green, cleaning, and organic. And we have another filler over there which only has 6 moving parts. So we use that in preference to this one because this is the old one, which we got 13 years ago, and the new one we got in the last few years is a much more modern. So this is kind of like the backup, that old Hunter. It's a Hunter filler. This manufacturing plant is gold level certified in terms of sustainability. We do everything well. We do everything the best we possibly can, from the products we manufacture to the energy usage in the factory, recycling, non-toxic water preservation. Did I say paper usage? Yeah. So all of the aspects of like a sustainable green certification, we actually meet the gold standard. And we were one of the first businesses in Australia to be certified to this level. Yeah, but that's a whole other podcast. Okay, so once it's gone through the bulk phase, the products have gone through the bulk and they've gone through filling and they've been passed to make to our quality standards, then they are transferred through to dispatch, which is where we are now. And of course it's all done, everything's online as well, so we know when 1,200 units of Desert Flower shampoo are transferred, it's all recorded. And this is our filling, our dispatch logistics area where we pick and pack. So that's our Japanese side, and this is our English speaking side. So we have all of our products labelled in Japanese as well. And we have a FIFO system, first in, first out. So everything, obviously, because our focus is keeping products as fresh as possible. So all of the new products, when they come in, they get stacked onto this flow rack at the back. And then as a product is emptied, the new one flows through. But we've designed the factory and this dispatch system to minimise the amount of walking that our staff do. So it's highly designed to be most efficient. From the way the products are coded, so so they receive a packing slip which goes from the top code to the bottom code, top code to the bottom code. So they're just walking along. As they walk along, they pick. So they're not walking back and forth, First in, first out. So this is, it's a way of, it's like a stock control system so it's keeping something that arrives first is the first to go out. So so if something came in second, that's fresher, so it goes to the back. FIFO, that's called first in, first out. Yeah, so this is the front, and then, so this was obviously the oldest, and then the new stuff is at the back. These are all on rollers, and it's on an angle, so it's filled at the back, and then it rolls forward. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And there we have the Mr. Snuffleupagus up the top there, which is, well, we affectionately call it Mr. Snuffleupagus. This is our void fill, which is when you receive a package from us, you see it's cornstarch basically. It's biodegradable, totally biodegradable corn and wheat starch, and you can put it in your garden, or you can flush it down the toilet. It's totally biodegradable. It's not plastic at all. I don't recommend you eat it. It is edible. It's non-toxic, totally non-toxic and biodegradable. Part of our system of ensuring full traceability of every ingredient, when every new batch number or when a new batch is rolled forward, we note the date and time and the first invoice number that is shipped with that first unit of that batch. So we know if we ever have to do a recall, we can precisely gauge, the exact time that batch number came into dispatch, and which customer invoice number, who was the first customer to get the first product of that batch. So we can send out a recall. We've had one instance where it wasn't serious, it wasn't a recall, it was just a product that was substandard. After we found it basically went off quickly. It went off more quickly than it should have. So we said, we wrote to all of our customers who'd received that product and said, we've found our retention sample isn't lasting as long as it should be, as the use by date. So if you have any problems, it's possible that your product's going off if you have it, but most of them had used it up by then. So it's very rare, and which is part of our thing. Get it fresh, ship directly to you. Don't let it sit on your cupboard. Don't stick it away, because we put such a lot of effort into making it the best and the freshest and shipping it to you as quickly as possible. Use it when you get it. Start using it and use it up. And all of our products need to be used within 6 months once they're opened. So, but they will last unopened. The vast majority of them will last unopened in perfect storage conditions for 30 months. Which is also really unique, because we don't use any synthetic preservatives. But that's quite amazing, actually, that we have a shelf life that is so long without using synthetic preservatives. And part of what contributes to that is our scrupulous clean conditions, and the fact that we pull apart all of our manufacturing equipment no contaminants in our batches. The fact that it's our packaging is airless, so it's vacuum, so it's not contaminated by, you're not opening jars and dipping fingers in and introducing microbes and dust and all the rest of it that's going to turn it rancid. So we have the packaging, the ridiculously amazing water that we use, the quality of our ingredients, and just our systems and our clean down systems and the way we make the products. So it's not just the fact that we use plant-based antibacterials and antifungals as the ingredients in the products. It's also it encompasses everything. It's a multi-layered approach that gives us the shelf life that we have. We use about 4 or 5 different courier companies, and we ship directly to every customer around the planet. So these are end user customers that our dispatch is shipping to. organically. Yeah, word of mouth. So someone knew someone in Singapore and they wanted to start ordering. So then we had to look at, okay, what are the import requirements into Singapore and Hong Kong and America and New Zealand and Canada. And yeah, so it's basically been organic growth. So if someone knows someone in Japan, and then we start that process of how do we get the products into Japan. Yeah, so it literally has grown organically, and that's how we're in 70 plus countries. Yeah, so most of our turnover, like about 50% of our turnover is in Australia, and then the rest, maybe the other 45% is a combination of North America, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, New Zealand. They're our next biggest countries. And then the remaining, 5% is all the rest of the countries because they're just very small individual orders. All right, well, thank you very much. Yes, much appreciated. And I hope what I said makes sense. I'm really, really grateful to do what I'm doing because I just love doing what I'm doing. I love making the products. I love formulating. I love the people that work here. Like, we've gone through lots of different staff over the years, but we now seem to have this really amazing core group of people that are just awesome. Yeah, it's a fun place to work, and I get to meet amazing people, like traveling around the world. We just took our top 20 leaders to Fiji and had the best time because they're all freaking awesome people. We seem to be this awesome people magnet, this company. We've just because they're into organics, they're into health and sustainability, and they want to do good on the planet. And they're the kind of people that we're attracting because that's what we want to do as well. I'm lucky to be happy, very grateful to do what I do. Thank you.